All right, let's get into it.
It's Friday.
It is. It's another one. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. You say it was 61?
Episode 61 today, boys.
Wow. Dang. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing special about it, but I wasn't really paying attention. So, yeah, welcome to episode 61 of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. Our last episode, we had a great guest on, Caleb. If you missed that one, you should go back and listen to it. He's got some pretty cool stories. We talked about some fun stuff.
He's just a funny motherfucker too.
He really is. He looks at the world a little bit different than everybody else. But this week, we got a lot of random stuff. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the industry, government-wise, regulation-wise. We got a phenomenal review by Half Wheel a little while ago, which in turn turned into us getting one of their spots in the top 25 of 2024, top 25 cigars that they rated.
And it means a lot to me to have Half Wheel rated because of the way they do it compared to other people.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And then there's something else. Regulations, Half Wheel.
Yeah. We got back from SHOT Show.
Yeah, we got back from SHOT Show. And then we sent some cigars to a police officer. So those are going to be the brief categories that or the cliff notes, the categories we're going to talk about on this one.
There you go.
And this might be the first one we actually have stuff to talk about coming into it. We're not just, just going off of what we think or what the comments were. But so let's jump right into it. I want to jump into the Half Wheel part first. And then we can get into all the other stuff because that kind of we'll get into what we got rated in the top 25.
Before we get into Half Wheel, let's talk about how cigar ratings generally how they work, or how the industry does them.
So,
and then our past experience.
Yeah. So let's go over the good ones first.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of companies out there like Half Wheel, for instance. And there's a bunch of other ones that do honest ratings.
Right.
They legitimately they are avid cigar smokers. They legitimately will smoke one or multiple cigars,
right,
and actually pay attention and give a no bullshit, honest review on construction, flavor notes, strength, their experience, the packaging, the look, the feel. I mean, everything.
Yeah. And
then you have the other side of the industry that takes a form of advertisement payment. They typically just go off of what the manufacturer says the cigar is supposed to taste like.
Yep.
And then they apply a rating, typically
and the number
between 90 and 94.
Yeah, and the number corresponds usually with your annual spend.
Well, no, your end of year top 10 or top 25 is based on your annual advertisement dollar spend with that company.
Yeah.
The rating.
Now, they won't admit to this.
Ever.
That's not, they're going to claim that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some that, when we first started, we got a couple of cigars rated.
Yeah.
And they asked us for flavor notes and stuff like that. And they put it word for word, the flavor notes we send them.
But here's where we found
almost to include spelling errors.
Here's when we found out what they were actually doing. They would put a review out with a description that we gave them, a picture of the cigar we gave them,
yep,
and the name of the cigar we gave them, except the rating wasn't for that. And the picture didn't line up with the name, and the name and the description weren't the same as the picture.
Yeah.
They just butchered all of it in the guise of, we're doing a review for you. No, we advertised with you.
Right.
And then you butchered a review and asked us to be happy about it and then never did a correction. And so what that tells me is you didn't actually smoke the cigar. You didn't actually fucking review it. And that's why we don't use any of those ratings.
Yeah.
We never have, and we never will.
Yeah, we've never published. We're not proud of the rating we got.
Yeah, no.
Because we knew it was fucking bullshit.
It's all fucking bullshit. So when we've done some social media and we did an email, kick a blast when we got our rating from Half Wheel.
Now, Half Wheel, we've paid exactly $0.
Not a penny.
They just publish cigar news and ratings.
So
new stuff on the market. Half Wheel's awesome.
I'll go over real quick some of their. They did an article. It's on their website. It's called 2024 Reviews and Review, and it does. This article has no reviews. It goes over the data they collected on what they've done over the year. Half Wheel is all about data.
Right.
They have built out spreadsheets, they collect, they analyze, they put it all back together in a new report for every single thing they do. It's not like they're like, hey boys, let's sit down and what's your opinion? You know, when they calculate their ratings, their system for doing it, the smoker doesn't even know the number when they're done. The number's calculated at a later date. So they just fill out all the stuff to review it, and then somebody else puts data to that in off their rating systems, and then it's a even no bullshit, like honest review, and it's based on the experience and the construction and all that fun stuff. And they've been doing it for a very long time. I think they set up their ratings in like 2015, 2014 is when they established their their rules for doing it. But some of their data, for instance, they'll go over. They call it top line numbers, and they average all their ratings for the whole year, and they do it year by year. And so I'll give the past couple. So 2021, the average cigar rating for all the cigars they did was 86.27.
Wow.
22 is 86.79. 23 was 87.36, and 24 was 87.16. So there isn't like they're progressively getting up. They're just kind of doing this number depending on what's being put out, which leads me into, I like these a lot better.
They're consistent
because they're just reviewing that cigar the same way they review all the rest. There's no bias to it. They also have 3 different types of reviews that they do. They call it a regular review, which is, as they put it, Tuesday through Saturday, we review cigars in a consistent manner. So it's like a legitimate, like, hey, this is what we're doing, and they just review cigars. Then they have what's called a redo reviews. And they publish something called a redo review, in which a single reviewer smokes one cigar, usually an aged cigar, for a review that they've previously published. Sometimes that ends up being a re-release of a previous reviewed, but again, it's just one cigar being smoked. Those don't count when it comes to top 25 of the year.
Okay.
And then they have what's called Holy Grail Week, which is the first week in January. And they smoke 1 to 3 cigars. The Holy Grail cigars are oftentimes vintage cigars, which sometimes aren't entirely fair to include with the rest of the data. You're looking at a Cuban from way back in the, something very, very rare. It's not like, for instance,
the normal person can't go buy it.
Cigar Aficionado, if you look at their top 10 or top 25, whatever they do for the year, I guarantee you in those top 3 cigars is going to be a Cuban you can't get.
Right.
You have a magazine that's published and focused on the American cigar industry, essentially, because that's where the fucking money is. And your number 1 cigar of the year or top 3 cigars or whatever it is going to be a Cuban that isn't even available in that market. Why?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of ad spend. Like, I don't know any other reason. Why would your number 1 cigar of the year be something that people can't even fucking get? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah. So, and then getting down into like the nitty gritties and the details of them. The averages, for instance, the regular reviews averaged 86.89. Their redo reviews averaged 88.77, and their Holy Grails were 87.67. And out of 179 regular reviews that were published in 2024, 38 of them scored a 90 or above.
Out of 178?
179.
179.
Yep. There were 12 90 ratings, 18 91 ratings, 7 92, and 1 93.
Wow.
And our night shift got rated a 91. We were one of those 18. Then they go on to talk about the different cigars and some things like that, and where they're from, country of origin, by company, by factory. And then one of my favorite parts is advertisers versus non-advertisers. So they reviewed 76 cigars from advertisers, and they reviewed 122 cigars from non-advertisers.
Now,
the average between all the paid reviews and the non-paid, the paid ones, the average was 87.25. The non-paid, which was 87.35.
Now, why do you think the reason Half Wheel would put in an advertisers versus non-advertisers section? Like, why would they even bring it up? Because they know what I just said is what happens in this fucking industry.
Like the shitty part is it's like this taboo. You're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah.
But you got to think, like, how the fuck did the Chevy Silverado 1500 is truck of the year and the Ford F-150 is also truck of the year? You know what I mean?
I think that's based off of sales numbers. Maybe.
No, it's fucking ad spend.
Yeah, maybe.
It's Motor Trend collecting money from Ford and Chevy and Dodge and everyone. And they say best truck of the year in class. Right? They have all these little bullshit categories that don't mean anything, but allows them to advertise saying Motor Trend says we're best truck of the year. It's the same shit in this industry. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah. And then it has a list of advertising companies. And then, they go over all kinds of stuff. And like I said, it's purely data. So if you're a data nerd like I am, it's a really cool article because it gives you an insane breakout of how they came up with that list. For the top 25 and how they do their ratings, which is very, very interesting to know.
Yeah.
And then they have a whole rating thing. I'm not going to go over that, but it goes into details on how they do all their ratings.
Right. And I don't know if you've said it yet, but yeah, we got rated number 17 out of
18
out of 25.
Yeah. We're number 18 cigar of the year on half wheel, Warfighter night shift. And then they go over kind of a little bit about the company and their, opinion about the position. And then if you go to the actual rating of it, because they rated us a 91 as well, it goes over the details of the rating and their experience while they were smoking it. And
now, I think there was a chance we could have had a 92 if they had gotten a cigar with the band on straight.
That was really funny.
Because they pointed out that the picture that they have, the cigar they smoked, the band was a little crooked. And so
yeah, the rifle wasn't perfectly in line with the cigar. And I get it. I can see it.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn. I'm like, I wish it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, a 91, that's solid. That's a solid rating from Half Wheel. And it's a great article, and we appreciate them for that. And yeah.
Yep. And as I said in the top 25 article, if you click on our cigar, one of the things they put in there, and I really appreciate how they worded it too. And there's two things actually. Where's it at? They're talking about, it might have been in the review. No. But yeah, but essentially they were like, it only took them 9 years to make the list. But if you go back to the review, they said something else that was really cool on there. This is from Patrick with Half Wheel. He goes, one of the things that impressed me with many cigars this year and a number of cigars on this list is what I refer to as having a high floor. It's a term I picked up from baseball scouts to refer to players who might not have an all-star or Hall of Fame level ceiling. But who have a really high floor that suggests they will deliver day in and day out. That's how I felt with this Warfighter night shift. The cigar delivered consistently while showing that it can have some impressive moments that propel it out of the range of just being a good cigar. How they word things is, I appreciate it. But yeah, and then they go over a little bit else about the rest of the cigar and retail and all that fun stuff. But yeah, huge shout out to Half Wheel. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then other stuff that Half Wheel put out in the past couple of days is all of the legislature that's just magically disappearing.
Yeah.
All the FDA shit.
They were trying to,
I would say all of it. But
what was the actual headline? Like the proposal to ban flavored cigars
and menthol cigarettes. Yeah. So that's out the window.
It's just being dropped.
It's gone.
They're no longer pursuing it.
And then the nicotine level restrictions, and there's something else that came with that. I think it was best practices for factories or some shit, which is ultimately the U.S. government trying to control factories in other countries. Like, that's not really how that works. But okay, man,
not very practical.
So all that got dropped. What else? There was something else too. But yeah, that flavored cigar thing, that's huge.
Yeah.
They're essentially what happened is the FDA and all those departments have to submit essentially what their rules are going to be for this year to go over it and make sure that that's what it is. And so a copy of that has been bounced around and it shows what they're doing this year. It's not like what they're thinking or whatever. Like, this is what we're doing. So in the years prior, all the shit's been on it. This year, none of it's to be found. So it's not even on their radar of things they're looking at, let alone considering as of right now.
Right.
That could all change next year in 4 years or whenever. It's the government. They kind of just do whatever they want to do. But as of right now, less regulation is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less regulations equals more freedoms. And that's kind of what we're about. So,
but I feel like less regulation transitions the population into advancing things.
Yes.
Right. So, because now, like when they're heavily regulated, they want to get creative to get around the regulations. But they don't want to get creative with new shit.
Yeah.
When there's no regulations, new shit explodes. I wouldn't say none, but when they're less regulated.
Yeah, when they're not trying to impose new,
they're more apt to explore new things because they can do it.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't have to worry about going out of business next year.
Yeah. If I establish this product or this thing or whatever it is.
Because we spent, Warfighter spent 3 years just wondering if we were going to be able to continue doing business.
Because of the government.
Because of the FDA.
That's
back in the day.
Yeah.
Now if that wasn't a worry of ours, like, we would have made better decisions maybe.
I know we would at least had different products back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say, I'm glad, I'm happy looking back and seeing where we were when we started and the things that we've gone through and where we are today. And I wouldn't know where we'd be if things were different because I feel like it pushed us.
Yeah.
More than normal. But then again, we could have different products. Maybe we didn't need to have a push. Right. So, yeah. But no, it's really nice. Anytime there's more freedom in an industry, it grows.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that the industry as a whole is just going to get better and better.
Well, I think it will.
Mm-hmm.
So
we got the night shift we did. Regulations, we covered a little bit of that. We had cigars we sent to a police officer.
Yeah.
Let's go over that real quick. So I was creeping around social media, a couple of weeks ago at this point, and I came across, this is a 16-minute video that's on YouTube, but I came across like a 30-second clip of this video. And essentially it shows this cop smoking a cigar, and he's attempting to pull somebody over, and the guy decided, you know what, I'm not stopping, I'm going to run. And so the dude took off, and the cop actually had to put out a cigar, and it looks like he's only got maybe an inch smoked out of it. So it was probably a pretty new cigar he had to get rid of to get this guy and pull him over. And so at the end of the video, when he's actually arresting this dude, they're talking, and the guy's trying to explain like why he was doing what he was doing. And the cop's just like, maybe you have to throw out my cigar. And the guy's like, I'm sorry, man. But so when we see videos like this, especially when the guy's smoking a cigar and had to throw it out, like, I know how bad it sucks when you have to get rid of a cigar, especially after you just lit it.
Yeah.
You have to buy those, and they're not cheap. You know what I mean? Right. It's just like, you know what? Hey, because of you and the things you're doing right now, I'm going to take 10 or 15 bucks. I'm just going to toss it out the window.
Now let's go over why the cop shouldn't get in trouble for littering. Because he threw it out the window.
Yeah. But it didn't have a band on it.
Right.
And it's just leaves.
That's right. Is it really littering?
You're just putting leaves back in where the leaves go.
Right? I don't think so.
I understand if you throw a cigarette out and it has a filter and paper and all that stuff, that's littering.
Right.
There isn't anything that's in the cigar that won't decompose in a matter of weeks or months.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he shouldn't get in trouble with that. All the people are like, he's littering. And it's like, oh, you're dumb. We know a lot of people that are in law enforcement. A lot of guys in law enforcement are cigar smokers as well.
Yeah.
They also don't get paid the most. They make it. It's kind of like just enough that you can live, but not enough where you can like actually live.
Yeah.
So when the guy has to get rid of a cigar, I feel that. So we shared that video and we put it out for all you listeners in our customer base. It wasn't on the podcast platform, it was a social media platform. all I asked was for a shipping address for this officer, or a trooper, so I could get him a replacement cigar for the one he got rid of.
Right.
And I think this happened like the beginning of last year, so I'm late to the game. But within a matter of like 2 hours, we got an email into our Warfighter email. And it was a guy, and he was just like, I know who the trooper was in that video. And I was like, I love this. So I emailed him back. I'm like, hey man, I really appreciate you reaching out. If you shoot me an address, like I'd love to just get him some replacement cigars. And so we ended up getting some cigars out for the officer, and then we got some out for the finder's fee. For the guy who emailed in. I'm assuming he was also law enforcement in some way, shape, or form. But I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody out there that's doing stuff like that. You're putting yourself out there. You're in a job that a lot of people refuse to do.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with people that are kind of assholes sometimes. And you do it, and you have a smile on your face, and you get it done. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you're a cigar smoker. So we sent them some night shifts, hoping that, because they were working nights.
Yeah.
Hoping that they can appreciate a good night shift cigar while they're working the night shift. But yeah, I think Justin might have the video linked or something. If you want to go watch it, it's kind of interesting. But like I said,
they did take it down off of our.
Yeah, they pulled
Facebook
ours.
page.
The one that we shared, they pulled that real quick. Yeah. That was like 4 or 5 hours. They pulled that video.
Not like he shoots the guy or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah, it's not that we were bad talking. We were like, hey, this guy.
Yeah.
Everybody know how I can get this guy cigars, and he needs replacements. Yeah. Yep. And then Justin, we had one other thing. What was that? Or something else?
We were going to talk about SHOT Show.
I was about to say, do y'all want to recap SHOT Show?
So
that real quick.
We went out there just for a quick 2 nights. Did not go onto the show floor this year. We just went for a couple of after parties and do a little networking and stuff like that.
People we had to talk to.
Yeah, we went out to the Leatherneck Club, which is a really cool marine bar in Las Vegas, kind of in Chinatown.
Sons of Liberty Gunworks was doing an event there benefiting this SOCAF.
Right.
Or soft seat. No, what the fuck? I don't know.
Some special operations charity.
Yeah. And we had a humidor and cigars that were up there, and AmericanSnipers.org was there. They had a table set up, generating funds that help take care of all the sniper sections across all the branches. Another really good nonprofit if you guys are looking for one to help support. And then what did we do after that?
Then we went to the Gundies.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Gundies. I couldn't remember.
We didn't actually stay for the Gundies though. We went to the open bar. Actually, it wasn't even an open bar.
I know.
We went to the bar.
We went to the bar at the Gundies.
Yeah. Talked to a couple people there. Met some interesting people.
Yeah. It's funny how everything shifts just in life in the world. A couple of years ago, everybody that was nominated for a Gundy, I either knew or recognized.
Right.
Half the people this year, and I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I'm not on social media enough. Like, I don't know any of these people. But we got to run into, a lot of people we worked with in the past, friends, friends of friends, all kinds of stuff. And that was really nice. Got to meet a bunch of new people.
Yeah.
And then after the Gundies, that was the first night we were there. And then the next night we did Burbiz.
Yeah.
Which is the Veteran Success Group, another really good nonprofit. Our boy Scott Davidson running that over there. And they had a comedy night.
And it was good.
Yeah. We had Justin Governal. He was one of the comedians. Christina Mariani headlined. And then everybody else is prior military as well.
Yeah, there was even a couple of active duty or one active duty chick that was there. Yeah.
Except she's about to not be on active duty anymore because of one of her jokes.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
She was making some bipolar jokes. And they were really good. They're accurate and they were funny. And then she said she's getting kicked out of the military because of it. And everyone laughed. And then I talked to her after the show and she's like, no, that's real. I was like, oh. I was like, well, at least you're okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, there were
Well,
it was good. It was funny. And that burb is it's becoming like a reunion.
Right.
All of our friends we work with there, they, or work with or associate with, they all end up being there usually. So
it's just a good networking.
Yeah.
I know they do them in DC as well. If you're ever in the area and you see, one coming up.
They did one in San Antonio one year, a couple years ago.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
They did a couple in San Antonio, actually.
I think they have, yeah.
But yeah, I don't even.
That was about it. That's about all. And then
there was Circle Bar and
yeah.
Didn't
know anybody.
But yeah, we had a lot of people like, "Oh, what's new? What'd you guys see at Shot Show?" We're like, "We ain't go on the floor. We didn't see anything. We were just there networking business." Yeah. Saw the guys at Stogie Mag.
Yeah.
From it's nice running into people from the cigar industry at the gun show.
It is. The one year we were at a cigar trade show and we ran into Chris Barrett.
Yeah, we ran into gun people.
Yeah. That was interesting. I guess Chris Barrett, he owns a cigar shop somewhere. I can't remember, but the son of Ronnie Barrett that owns Barrett Rifles. So, and I had known him. He almost hired me when we got out of the military. When I got out of the military, and so it was kind of interesting running into him at the cigar show.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I turn around and go back to Vegas on Tuesday for. I'm going to attend TPE this year.
Yeah.
And the other years we've set up there, but last year was kind of weird. We didn't do too good at TPE because. PCA, our main trade show, was like a month afterwards.
53 days.
Yeah, 53 days later.
Yeah.
At the same in Vegas as well.
Yeah.
And so the attendance to TPE wasn't very good. And I think it's because, nobody wants to, it's a lot of expense to go attend a trade show.
Especially two back-to-back.
And then you do two back-to-back, like
previous to last year, the TPE was in January, PCA was in July.
Yeah.
So it was every 6 months.
And that made a lot more sense.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
And now this year, PCA is in April in New Orleans. So I kind of wanted to go to TPE and see if attendance is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now, TPE is not strictly a cigar show.
No.
The cigar part of it's very little.
It's called Total Product Expo.
Yeah. And they do like CBD, vape, all that weird shit. All the head shop stuff, essentially.
Yep.
And that's probably 70 to 80% of that show.
Oh, maybe even more. Because they got like 2 floors and we have like a 10,000 square foot section of one floor.
Yeah.
And that floor is probably, 400,000.
And when John says we, he means the whole cigar industry.
Yeah, not us, Warfighter Tobacco. No. We do a 10 by 10.
Yeah.
100 square feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like this year, looking at all because they released the show floor map, and it shows you where all the booths are and what vendors at what booth and all that kind of stuff, and all the cigar companies are grouped together in one area. And so I went through and I looked at everything, and there wasn't that many people vendors wise, manufacturers that were there. I mean, there's some, but not a lot.
So if you listen to this and you attend TPE and you see me walking around, I'll have an order form.
Yeah.
But we won't have a booth.
No, sorry guys. But we will have a booth at PCA. That's in April. So if you're a shopper or lounge and you're heading that way, or if you're a listener and your local shopper lounge is heading that way, let them know to come by and see us. I'll have a booth number as soon as they give me one.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a really fun event. At least for us, we're excited for it because it's in New Orleans. It's new.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's more centralized. So I feel like it's easier for more people to get there.
Yeah.
The West Coast people are kind of complaining right now because now they actually have to travel instead of driving 4 hours.
Right.
Because like that's the cool thing of Vegas. Like all the Southwest, like Arizona, Colorado, not so much Colorado, but Arizona, Utah, California, anywhere in Nevada, like you're 4 hours from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Or ish. Yeah. Sometimes it's 6, but
it's not
it's drivable.
Yeah.
Like now, New Orleans, that's drivable for us. So we don't have to ship pallets and all this stuff and get 1 million plane tickets. But the downfall is the majority of the people are gonna have to fly in now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. But they're doing it there for I think the next couple of years at least.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll see new shops at PCA this year, especially the people within a 4-hour radius that can drive there.
That, and then I hope a lot more people from the East Coast actually go.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We're excited for it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, TPE is next week.
Yeah. What else is coming up?
I got a veteran hunt this weekend.
I got a boy going to basic training next week.
I'm so excited for that.
Me too. I'm not the one that has to yell at him now.
Right?
It'll be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's funny. When we were talking last week and we got some hard times and the day that he ships out at 3:30 p.m. he has to be back. And then now he's kind of possession of the U.S. Coast Guard.
Yeah.
And so I looked over at Scott and I was just like, at 3:30 p.m. on that day, he is no longer your responsibility. That's it. Graduated the school of Jansen parenting.
Yeah. Which is not an easy school sometimes. So
yep. But we did get to meet so one of your boys, when he went through basic, his drill instructor,
they call him company commander.
Or company commander, excuse me. You met at graduation.
I did not.
But communicated.
I met her through social media because she's a military influencer, kind of.
Yeah.
And does a lot of stuff on social media. And but I got to meet her in person for the first time at Chacho, which is cool. And she's in charge of the school that's going to teach my newest boy going into the Coast Guard his maritime enforcement training. So so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we definitely had a little sidebar where it's like, hey, listen, you got to fuck with them, right?
She's like, yeah, if you need anything, just get a hold of me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to need any favors. My favor is you fuck him up.
Yeah. Make it harder. Yeah. No, it was really cool getting to meet her. And she had not really a crew, but a couple people that were with her. One dude was prior military as well, or I think he's still active. Well,
he's her husband.
Yeah, and then there was somebody else. They had like a little group.
Yeah.
But yeah. So obviously we gave him a couple of cigars. But it was nice getting to talk to them.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it was literally the only Air Force person in the entire, or Coast Guard person in the entire room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Justin, we got any comments or questions or anything that came through?
We have not. I actually have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Have y'all noticed, because y'all have been going to both SHOT Show and TPE and all the trade shows for both the gun industry and the cigar industry, have y'all seen like a big merging of the two in the last 10 years?
No.
Has it grown or is it maintained?
What do you mean, like merging of the two industries?
Like where like the cigar industry
trending the same?
There's a couple newer than us cigar companies that are working with the gun industry a little bit now and that are veteran owned, but we've seen a couple come and go, and we've seen a couple that are new and doing their thing. I don't see any of the gun industry hardly ever in the cigar industry.
No.
Yeah.
You see some gun stores carry cigars.
Yeah, but it's not, there's no real heavy crossover between the two.
Gotcha.
Really.
That's what I was kind of curious.
There are some like correlations between the two.
Yeah.
Like there are some companies in the cigar industry that no longer exhibit at trade shows. And there are some companies in the firearm industry that no longer exhibit at the trade shows.
Yeah.
And they just came to the realization that the cost
versus
involved
benefit.
Versus what they actually sell and what they do, they could take that money and use it in a different fashion and do better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that as an industry as a whole, the cigar industry is doing that or the firearm industry is doing it, because 98% of the companies, they rely on the show.
We can talk on that a little bit. Like when we first started going to the big trade shows for the cigar industry, it was before COVID, and these big companies, not even big companies, everybody was complaining how expensive it was. But it's because they set up massive, expensive booths.
Yeah, they spend $1 million on their booth,
Right? Like,
and then fly everyone out and put them all up in hotels and
Yeah.
food and expenses.
so
and,
like to break even, you have to do $2-3 million in sales just to break even for the cost of the show. Like, of course it's too much. And then so what we saw is a couple companies just quit going altogether for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But most companies have scaled back on their booth size and made it a little bit more realistic as far as expenses. Right.
Yeah.
Like, even we have, like,
Oh,
we used to spend way too much, but it was because we were young and dumb and didn't know any better.
yeah, it used to cost us like $50,000 to go on these shows.
Yeah. Now it costs us less than 10. So,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, we just didn't know what we didn't know. We were trying to do what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And then we realized that, fuck, that's not how we're going to make this work. We just
Right.
have to keep doing what we do,
Yeah.
you know?
And honestly, I think the first year that we downscaled our booth, our sales were
They were better than every other
quite a
year.
bit better.
And it was the first year that we didn't lose money going to an
yeah.
industry trade show, which
Right.
that's not how it's supposed to, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what incentivizes small companies to go there when they're not making money doing it?
exposure, I guess, but
But why don't you make it affordable?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to help this industry and help grow it and help protect it, then fucking do that.
but it's not the trade shows that are making it unaffordable. It's it's when you reach out to somebody to, hey, build me a booth, and it costs
Oh yeah.
like.
Yep.
But if you don't know any better, you don't know any better.
Yeah.
And
Well, and you can buy it for what you'd rent it for 1 year.
yeah,
If you want to change it every year,
yeah,
rent it. If you're not going to change it every year, buy it.
yeah,
And then look at easy ways to do it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I do feel like it's a necessary evil, though. The
Yeah,
trade shows.
no, trade shows are. And it's good. You get FaceTime with your shop owners, and that's always good. So
Yeah, it's
good networking.
outside of that. There's no way you can sit down and engage with that many people in that short amount of time for
Yeah.
that least amount of cost.
Yeah,
So you can kind of justify it by the 10,000 foot view
yeah,
and being like, oh, okay, well, if I tried to go talk to all these people in their place of business, it would cost me X.
yeah,
So it just depends how you look at it. But it's fucking expensive.
it is.
And then nothing's getting any cheaper. Like, for instance, SHOT Show. Leading up to SHOT Show, like the Venetian Hotel,
Yeah,
their rooms were anywhere between $800 to $1,200 a night.
for a room.
And then once the show started, their rooms were like $300 or $400 a night because they didn't sell them out.
Yeah,
So they had available rooms during one of the busiest times of the year down there for them because they were trying to price gouge. Like, fuck you.
well, Venetian, we stayed at Fremont Street because it was way cheaper.
And we had a great time.
Yeah.
I like Fremont Street better than the Strip anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. But the Venetian, like, the drinks are fucking expensive, man. Godly.
That was rough.
What was it, $80 a round for us
Yeah.
too? $80.
Yeah.
2 drinks. No, they were doubles, but
They were doubles.
yeah.
They weren't $80 worth.
No, that would have been issuing us a bottle apiece each time we went up
That
there.
would've been, just one
Yeah.
each. That's it. We're good for the night.
Yeah. So we drank our faces off the first night. The second night, we a little more conservative.
I think I only had 3 drinks the second night, and I had like 5 waters. I drank more waters than I had drinks.
Oh, I didn't drink as much water, but I probably had 3 or 4. But the first night we
I don't even know.
had all the booze.
A lot. It was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. 2 nights though. I think that's my favorite for Vegas.
Previous to this trip, I still think my favorite SHOT Show trip was last year, and we spent like an hour and 46 minutes on the show floor.
Yeah,
Because I still got the SHOT Show experience.
yeah,
But as soon as we got done, we looked around, we're like, food? Done, let's go. We left.
yeah.
But no, it's fun. But yeah, I mean, have you seen anything cool that came out from SHOT?
No, because I don't care anymore.
I don't either, but normally I'll see like a couple of cool items.
Yeah,
I haven't really seen anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see in the next couple of weeks. And normally, like it's right, like day one, my social media feed is just crammed with all the new shit.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, but firearms aren't on my algorithm nearly as much as they used to be.
Yeah. I have a lot more firearm influencers than manufacturers. And even from them, I haven't really seen much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got PCA coming up. We also have a Nicaragua trip coming up.
Yeah.
Next month. And then we got an underground NFG coming up. I think they sold out of tickets.
Good.
So sorry we couldn't give you guys a heads up. And if they have any left, they might. Go to undergroundcigarshop.com. Look for the NFG 25 tab. And if they have attendee or non-attendee.
We will. I can confirm this now, I think, because both things are shipping like today.
Yeah.
So we will have a new cigar that we're releasing at NFG. So
yeah,
I would like to tell you about it, but it is redacted. So you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And literally see, because there's no information that's going to be anywhere about this cigar because it's redacted.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. It's an absolutely delicious cigar. That's about all I can say about it. But yeah, we're releasing that at NFG. So if you're there or you have a non-attendee ticket, you have the ability to be the first to get this cigar.
I'm going to say this too.
Yeah.
That will be your only chance ever to purchase this cigar.
Ever.
It'll never be for sale.
It won't. We have some creative ways in order for smokers to get this cigar, and we will put that out at a later date.
Yep.
But if you would ever like to purchase, the only time that it's available for purchase is going to be through Underground Cigar Shop for the NFG 2025 event that's happening in March. Go on their website and take a look around. In the past couple of years, we've sold out during the event, so there aren't any leftovers afterwards.
That's true.
And I feel like this year at this event, I think we're going to sell it pretty quick.
I would think so.
But
now I think they might sell them a day or two before the event. No,
even online, everything goes live noon on that Saturday.
Okay. Oh, okay.
When the event starts, that's when it starts for everyone,
Online.
attendees and non-attendees.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll put that out when it's time.
Yep. But you have to have a ticket in order to buy it.
Oh,
If you don't have a ticket, you can't just go on their website and buy it.
there you go.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why I said to go over there if they have tickets left. It's a capped event. They have 300 tickets. So yeah.
I don't know if non-attendees are capped.
I don't know either. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
But yeah, you'll just reach out to them or look on their website. I know they have all the information
Yeah.
over there for it. Yep. I think that's all in the immediate future that we have on our agenda. Bunch of projects in the works.
It looks like NFG, there are still tickets available.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Awesome.
So you can head over to undergroundcigars.com and snag some tickets.
Yep. And you can get tickets with or without grab bags. They have a thing called NFG bucks, and essentially you're just prepaying and getting a discount. And then they have all their shirts and swag and all that fun stuff.
Oh, I want a t-shirt this year.
Yeah. I haven't gotten one the past couple of years.
Me either, but it's the 10th year, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're underage, huh?
Apparently. Fuck. I didn't read that right.
You just
That's what I
gotta
get.
check the box.
He's gonna reload it. I won't let him do it.
Jesus.
It's like a safety bottle on a
It's childproof.
Yeah, it's childproof. Childproof website.
I thought I unclicked it. Yeah, NFG is a fucking awesome time.
It really is. But yeah, if you can't make it to, they ship. Like I said, you have to get that ticket in order to buy. Anything else pressing?
Nope.
No. Justin, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it for me, fellas.
Cool. Well, in that case, jump on over to warfightertobacco.com for all your cigar needs. The night shift is there. It is in stock and available for you to order. If you haven't tried it yet, you're wrong. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's delicious. High ratings. Read the review, smoke the cigar, see how well you compare to what Patrick.
That's a good way to educate yourself. Like to know if you're tracking along with somebody who's been smoking cigars forever and does professional reviews.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna go finish the cigar and then go to sleep. So I'm still tired from Vegas.
I slept all day yesterday.
I didn't. I wish I could, but I didn't. I had to actually get shit done. Some asshole books my schedule. It's me. And he doesn't understand that he needs time to chill in between doing shit. Fucking stupid. Someday I'll slow down.
Yeah.
I'll probably be when I die. Yep.
All right.
See you next week. Cheers.